Okay, I think we're streaming right now and just setting everything up. I think my mic's on. Yeah, mic is on. Okay. Oops. Okay. We're just checking stream right now just to make sure everything is running. It looks okay. Looks like everything is running right. Alright, good to go. We are up and running. Does everybody hear me in stream or in the stream? You can just say something in chat. Go ahead and start the game. Alright, so today we will be at Bristol, the first short track of the season. So definitely see what is going on with some short tracks. We're also going to be at a night race, which is definitely good. First night race. Night race is always fun to watch. Okay, I think everything's running. Let's see. Yeah, if anybody... hold on one second. Alright, so that is all set up. And let's do this. Alright, so first row or short track of the season. So doing 100 laps, which seems like a lot, but for Bristol it goes by extremely fast. So let me go ahead and get everything started. We see. Alright, so I think everybody should be able to see that. So let's go ahead and see how everybody qualifies. So just paused. All right, so it looks like Jay King has qualified second place with Walker. So it's always good to see Walker up at the top. Hopefully he can stay there and doesn't blow an engine at the start of the race. But he definitely looks like he is doing well. Hannah and Bishop are 4th and 5th, 2 more player cars. So it's definitely a good thing to see. Yes, it is a night race. So first one of the season. Definitely good. Also updated track, so hopefully everything works out well with this track. I did about 5 test races this morning and everything seems to run very well. Martinez, who ended up a lap down but raced second place very well, is starting 16th. Looks like Wayne King, who has performed very well, is starting a little bit further back. Wayne King may not be a short track driver, but we'll definitely keep an eye on him. We have Weber in 26th, which is a player car. Green is 35th in the 42. And it looks like Srivasta starting last place. Oh, geez. In the number 7 car. Looks like he is right up there with them. He's just a little bit slower for right now. So let's go ahead and see about starting this race.
Drivers.
We'll start with Walker. And let's start the race off as we start our half pace lap. And pace car is in. And we see how good how good of a run King gets. And it looks like he actually got a very good run and just basically drove past the 24. Let's go ahead and change the camera angle. And there is a ton. Oh, there is somebody in the... Oh, over! He is over on his lid! Most cars look like they have gone past him, but there have been a few that got caught up. Wow! That might help out the number 7. As we have a pit, or we have a caution already. Let's go ahead and rewind. I'll pause this first. Pause, just so the ticker doesn't get too far in advance. And let's go ahead and rewind to see what happened. So it looks like Hannah just got put into the wall and just lost it. So we can go back to Hannah and go to spec test. Should give a good view. Yeah, it looks like he checked up and didn't see the 12 there, and then ends up going in the wall and just hitting it at the right angle and just starts flipping. It looks like for the most part, most cars were able to drive. Oh, there comes King, the lead. Oh, I think he barely missed it. As he was flying down, as Hannah started going down, it looks like the number 7 Srivasta did get into it a little bit. We'll definitely have to see what kind of damage he got, as well as Green in the 42. Looks like 60. Was it Enfinfinger or whatever, or what his name is? Looks like he has an engine blown, as well as Straight in the 66 had some damage going. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on Srivasta and see what's going on with him. And hopefully there's no damage to him. It looks like King did end up leading that first lap. And we can start going there. So, alright, so Srivastava. Srivastava? Was that correct? Definitely want to pronounce names correctly. So, Srivastava. So I believe Hannah, Jess Hannah is done for the day. I mean, I don't think you can flip over 5 or 6 times and keep going. So I think he's done. Let's see if anybody's gonna jump into the pits. Actually, I don't think the pits are open right now. Though I think they would make an exception for Enfinger, as he's blown. It looks like he has blown an engine, so he's got to be leaking something. And there we go. Everybody's running into the pits except 66. What is he doing? He was in the... Actually, I think he went into the pits after that wreck. So I think he actually ended up getting his pit stop already. We see everybody going into their pits. So let's see if we can find a few. So King, he may have had to get a little bit of damage fixed on his car. It looked like he barely made the car flipped over him, but it may have scraped the top of him. That's why he had to sit in the pits a little bit longer, it looks like. We scroll through. Green's coming out. Looks like we'll see where he comes out. He did get some front end and back end damage. We'll see what his pits were able to fix. Looks like Srivastava coming back out, so that's always good to see. So it looks like there wasn't a ton of damage on him, which is definitely good. So we scroll up. Weber looks like he's in 23rd. So I think that wreck ended up pushing a few people back. So Martinez, number 22, in 14th. So Walker's in 9th. I think he was in like 4th or 5th starting. So it looks like he fell back a little bit. Pitch in the 6th or 7th. Bishop in the 12. I think he was the one that put Hannah into the wall. which started this whole wreck, but we'll definitely keep an eye on him. It looks like he was able to pit, so it looks like he just didn't get as much damage as it looked like. Those front end did get a little bit tapping into Hannah, and then J King is in first place right now. We'll definitely see if the Kings start dominating in this. So it looks like we are almost ready to go back green. And the pace car goes in. And King, see what type of run he gets. If he gets another great run. Just like the 24 did get a little bit of a peak on the inside. It looks like he is coming. Oh, he looked like he had a small run, but didn't end up able to get that run down. But it looks like King is pulling away slightly. Let's take a look at the back end. And yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Wayne King. Wayne King may just not be a short track driver, as he just is falling behind everybody. I was just thinking maybe it was just him getting caught up in that wreck, getting caught behind the guy, but it looks like, you know, there may be even something wrong with that car if he's not able to keep pace with even the back end of the cars. Well, you never know, maybe just not be a short track driver. So we look up a little bit. Looks like there was some damage on Elon Green, but it looks like he is able to at least stay with the back of the pack as nobody's really flying past him. Though it looks like he only has some back end damage, so he should be able to at least keep a little bit of speed here. As we see the number 7 of Srivastava, he is in 28th position. So it looks like he didn't get too much damage onto his front of the car, as he is keeping up with the 10. As we scroll up, we see Weber in the 33. Looks like he's pulling average at about the 22nd position. Scroll up a little bit more to see what other player cards. Looks like Walker is in 8th place. I think he gained 1 position. Maybe he just took a little bit longer in the pits than what he wanted. Maybe some issues, but it looks like he is slowly making his way back up. I see Pitch in the 6th is in 6th place, though it looks like he has some work to do to catch that number 8. And we have Bishop in the 3rd place. Yeah, he is not falling back, so it looks like that front end damage was either fixed or he just didn't get as much as it looked like from when Hannah checked up into him. And then of course first place, King is for the most part driving away from the 24. We'll definitely see what he drives like in traffic, because this is Bristol, so it's a very short track, so they will be catching up to lap traffic sooner rather than later, and they're on lap 16 of 100, so he'll definitely catch up to some lap traffic pretty quickly, especially if he keeps up this pace. But we'll also have to keep an eye on his tires, as on a short track running this that hard to try to get that much space between him and 2nd place does wear out on those tires. So as we scroll back to the tail end, we can see the other King, no relation of course, the other King is sitting in 36th, so we definitely need to keep an eye on him. He may be dropping very, very fast in the point standings if his car holds out as not running very well. So we'll scroll back up, see Green and Srivastava. Ooh, it looks like that orange car got a little bit sideways, but was able to save it. There's like no issues going there. It doesn't look like he even slowed down very much. So we see the cars exiting the turn. You see Weber. He is looks like he is falling a little bit back from the number 15. Though it may have just been he took a corner a little bit too much or too hard. So we have to keep an eye on him, see if he falls back as well. Looks like Martinez is in 13th. Though it looks like he is on the run past the 46th, depending on if he can keep linking up with the 77. Though it looks like 46 did get a pretty good run out of that corner, and ends up did tap him slightly. It looked like he thought he he got past him, and I thought he got past him as well, but he didn't, but at least he saved it. But of course that's going to slow him down a ton. So that huge run out of that corner, which looked like he was able to keep the 77 behind him, is gone. It looks like they are battling 77-46. The 46 really, which has almost no help on that outside line, is holding his own as he finally closes the door on the 77. As we take a look, I think I missed the space between first and second, but in Bristol, even 2 or 3 seconds is a huge space. So I think he's about, I don't know, maybe 1 and 1.5 seconds behind or in front. So we'll definitely keep an eye on him, as he right now is just dominating this race. So we will see what happens once he finally does catch up to those lapped cars. But right now, he really, there's no competition right now. So we'll take a look at some of these cars that he may end up catching. 66, who was, I think, involved in that first altercation earlier in the race. It looks like he has a little bit of damage on him. And it looks like it is slowing him down a little bit, but he's still able to keep up a little bit with the tail end of this pack. We'll definitely see if he does fall out of the draft space. Oh, looks like the King ends up bumping the 23. I'm not sure if that was just he didn't see him, or he was just like, nope, don't pass me, and just bumps him to slow him down. But yeah, it did slow down the 23 considerably. As we take, looks like King is looking to move up a little bit. King right now is in 35th, so he did catch, or did get one position. Has caught a one position. Looks like he is battling the 68 for the next one, I believe. What was it, 34? So he's battling for 34. It looks like he's got that position. Above 68, looks like he got a slight run out of that corner. It looks like the outside corner for some of these cars is a very good line. As the 60 has looked like the King ended up getting past the 68, but the 68 ended up crossing him and taking the inside. We'll definitely see if King wants to race it clean, or if he wants to do what he did in 23 and just slam into the side of him. But it does look like King did end up getting past him and has taken that position pretty firmly from 68. As now he has set his eyes on the 55. So, you know, it may have been he just got caught up in that first wreck, got pushed back to the end of the field, and is now just starting to work his way up once his tires got a little bit warmed up. So if we take a look at the race between Green and Shrivastava, looks like it is a good race. I know Green has a ton of damage on his back that you can see. This looks like it's crumpled up as somebody slammed into the back of him. But it looks like it's not hurting him too much, as he is able to keep up with the main pack. I mean, they are in 28, so they're not doing the greatest this race. But we'll definitely keep an eye on these two as they are battling it out. Ooh, it looks like Rasta did almost get loose out of that corner. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on him. As we scroll up to see Weber in the 33. He's in 21st, so he's trying to battle for top 20 finishes. Yeah, you can see the number 7 right there, getting loose, getting very loose out of a lot of these corners. At least I think it may be just that one corner he just continues to get loose in. As we're gonna see what's going on. He is able to, yeah, that turn he did do very well in, but he's still able to keep ahead of this end pack. But yeah, if he continues to get loose, we're gonna have to. He's probably gonna need to go into the pits. Definitely don't want to go into the pits early in Bristol, so you can get multiple laps down in a green flag pit. But if he's not going to be able to get loose, he may not be able to move up, as it looks like Green is slowly catching him. So take a look at about the midfield in 13th as Martinez, who had a very good run last week in Atlanta. He did end up with lap down, but he towards the end showed that his car was definitely one of the top cars of the race. I think he just had an issue in the middle of the race and had to pit. As we see, there is a pretty decent space basically from the top 10 on back. Yeah, Walker is dropping slightly as he's now in 8th place. He was started, I think, in 3rd place, and he's dropped back to 8th place. We'll definitely keep an eye on him, though he is still in this top 10 group that is really pulling away from the main body of this field. As we see Pitch in 6th place. He may have dropped a position, though he is catching up to number 8. As we take a look at Bishop is in 3rd place, right with the 24. As we take a look, there is a huge space between 1st and 2nd. I think the ticker's coming around to see exactly how much space is between 1st and 2nd. As it looks like, King is catching some of the tail end cars. So as we look at, he has about a 3-second 3-second lead, which is, at Bristol, 3-second lead is huge. As we're going to see what King can do once he catches up to these lap cars and see which of these lap cars is going to give him trouble. You can just see that space between them. Oh, it looks like the 66 did get a little bit high on that level, on that turn. But we have seen that there are there's a large number of cars in this field that outside line in the turn is actually their best line. So that's definitely good to see multiple line racing. And it's not just the inside that we have seen in some tracks. So it's definitely good to see multiple lines racing as later in this race, depending on if the 24 is able to catch the 11th once he hits this lap traffic, to see the end of the race, as we are halfway through it, lap 50, I believe 52 now. So we only have about 50 laps left. As we see, King has caught up to these lap cars. It doesn't look like 66 is going to get out of the way, because I think that wreck probably made him a little bit frustrated, as he may have had a pretty decent car starting out this race, but getting caught up in that crash, it's definitely was not what he wanted to see. So he may be trying to hold King back in that 11 car. Like the 80, the 80 did get into that wall slightly. It didn't slow him down very much, but it may have slowed down that little pack with King in it. So King he may have just sat back and decided to see if he can draft with the 66. Because he really has not made a move yet to try to pass him. I don't know if he's... Oh, and there is a 55 sideways. Oh, and he got King. Oh, no. They're still in the middle of the track. They have got to get out of the way. Oh, no. This is just a line of just cars. It looks like the outside is now free, though. We'll see who takes it, but multiple top cars have just slammed into each other. It looks like they are all out of the way. Now King, first place car, who was taking his time passing the 66, did take heavy damage. We are definitely going to have to take a look at that to see what happened, but we are under caution. I think the 6 was in it. The 3 of Walker, he has heavy back damage. We'll see what's his front damage. But yeah, let's go ahead and pause and take a look at that wreck. As that took that hurt multiple top cars. As I believe it started with the 55 and somebody. It looks like the 55 and the 23. The 55 just, I don't know if he got loose and started up the track, but yeah, he's sliding in, and yet King had nowhere to go and just slams hard into the back up to 55. And then as we see that, I mean, here comes the 24. The 55 and 11 of King are still basically in the middle of the track. I mean, the 24 is just asking a spotter where to go. The spotter saying go high, but he just could not get high enough as he hits the 55 into the 11, and then the 12 comes in, and it basically just turns into a train wreck as the whole field is just, or the whole track is for the most part completely closed off as Weber's, or as the number 3 of Walker and 6 of Pitch hard hits into each other, and then Walker gets a hard hit into or gets a hard hit from the 99 as another pack is coming in trying to get low, because it looks like that's the where to go. Looks like Martinez sees that the top lane is open, so he's starting to go up to the top lane, though he does have to worry about multiple other cars coming around, as a lot of cars are starting to sort themselves out. And since the space between most of the back cars is a little bit more, they were given more time by their spotters to say, hey, there's a wreck up in at the start of the corner. But right now is when the cars now are out of the way, and everything is basically, for the most part, getting back to normal. We're definitely going to have to keep an eye on King. As heavy damage to the front of King. He was just dominating this race. I mean, we are definitely going to have to keep an eye on him, you could see the damage from the top of the screen as he's coming into the pits. And look, he has actually gone back to the garages. King is done for the day. That is definitely not something we wanted to see from one of the top drivers today. As we see heavy damage on Walker. In the number 3, he's definitely going to have to come in. I mean, at least he is up and driving. So we'll definitely, hopefully we will see him come back out. It was definitely does not what we would wanted to see, a Walker having 2 DNFs in one race, but yeah, in Bristol there is not a lot of room in this track. So 2 cars basically blocked the entire track, and it looks like 24 has pulled out of the race as well. He was running second place. I think third place in Walker. Look at 55 right now is having issues getting back to the pits. But third place in Walker, he has heavy damage. We'll see if he's able to get back on the track and see what kind of times he's going to be able to do, especially with all that damage on him. It looks like they are working on him, trying to get some of the damage fixed on him. He may have to remove that hood just to get at least a little bit of aerodynamics going. But yeah, he may be in the pits for a little while. So we'll have to keep Actually, he's done, but it looks like he dropped a ton of sheet metal. His front hood is gone. His back bumper is gone. We are definitely going to have to keep an eye on him to see what type of times he can keep and see if he can stay with the leaders anymore. But yes, we are, I think we're on lap 60, just a massive wreck out of one of the turns, taking out the first and second just as they were getting up to lead cars. Like the 55 gets clipped or get loose and then goes into the wall. Leaders really have nowhere to go. King, which was basically dominating this race, leading I'd say at least 40 to 50 laps, had nowhere to go, slamming into him and now done. Second place, who was running behind him, nowhere to go, he's done. Walker running behind him, back out on the track, but with massive damage and a ton of sheet metal missing. As we take a look at the field now, Hughes, Core, Default, Graham and Prater all top five. We have Martinez, which is a player car, in 6th place. We have Walker Sr. currently in 13th place, but we'll definitely have to see what happens with him. As we scroll down, we have 4 cars: Jay King, who was leading, and Hannah, who was actually in the previous wreck. But as we go back under green, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on number 3 of Walker, as he has heavy damage, but he still has an extremely heavy damage on him. We'll have to keep an eye to see it as we see actually the 20 of King. He's in 35th, a lap down, so definitely not what we wanted to see from King, as there's actually some good movement going on at the top, but we have to see multiple 3 wides in the back. You do not go 3 wide in Bristol very much, so it is not safe to do that. We scroll back up, yeah, Wayne King, who has really done very well the last couple races, is a lap down in I think 35th position. So definitely not a good day for him, but I think he just wants to finish this race and get out of here clean. As we take a look at the Ranger, looks like he got his lap back, but Core in the 48, the leader of the race right now, as we see multiple 3 wides in the back. You know, the 48 of Core is now the leader, after being, I'm not sure where he was previously before this crash that took out almost all the leaders, but now he is leading. Oh, and there is another crash, as multiple cars in it again. I'm not sure what happened, but somebody got turned sideways. I think 25 got turned sideways and ends up sliding into back into the pack. That is something we didn't want to see either on lap 68, but we're going to go ahead and go take a look at what happened there. As I believe the 25 25 causes wreck, and again, just because Bristol, there's really nowhere to go. Once a crash starts, I mean, there's really nowhere to go. As we look at the slow motion of the start of this crash, it looks like it started from the 64 getting loose, going into the wall, and then the 80 and 64 clipping the 25. And the 25, who, you know, he's just really right now just in it for the ride, is just spinning in front of everybody, and the 77 just hard hit into him, and the 33, I think, of Martinez, or the 33 of Weber's hard hit in the side of 77, as we see the pace car start coming out, and then it just starts just stacking up behind them right there, as we see the 7 of the 7 of Srivastava. Looks like he's able to get past everybody, but this is just backed up from there. Looks like there's some damage on the 12, but that might have been previous crash. As cars right now just trying to get back out of the way as we scroll up, see if anybody has any other issues. Yeah, the leaders are coming to the tail end of this crash. I mean, it looks like it is slowly moving, and the 53 has almost an entire lap to yeah, it has almost an entire lap, though they are kind of 4 wide, so trying to sort themselves out for this caution. That's 48. Well, I don't know what he's doing, sliding hard into the inside, staying out of the way. These cars are still sorting themselves out, which is causing these leaders to get backed up even more. I mean, it looks like for the most part they've sorted themselves out, other than these about 4 or 5 cars right here with the 4, 72, 12, 66, and 52. I believe we know the 48 is the leader. As we can continue the race and go into, there is still some bumping going on in the back as more cars are coming in. Yeah, this is one thing about NASCAR 23. They don't slow down very much coming out of when it's a short track, trying to sort themselves out after a caution. So right now, like there's 6 or 7 cars that are kind of like, who goes first, and so now they're starting to sort themselves out. I believe they're gonna have to sort themselves out again a little bit in the front, as I think a few of these cars just went sliding in front. Yeah, 9 has heavy damage on him. We'll keep an eye on him as we now scroll up to 48, who is the leader. And Wayne King, we'll see if he's able to get his lap back. He's 34, so he's slowly moving his way up, but I think that's purely because there have been multiple cautions with cars crashing and ended up pulling out of the race. So as we wait for the caution to subside, we can take a look. Doesn't look like anybody from that crash right now has pulled out of the race, as King, who was in the previous race, is the only. Oh, looks like Elliott in the 9 has retired. So that's basically another position for King to get. So if he keeps that like this, if he keeps that like going like this, we're like about 71 of 100, he may be able to get a top 30 and not even have a good car. So we take a look. Now it looks like 77 of Hessert also was in that crash, as he has not passed Elliott, so it looks like he's still in the pits. So we will definitely see what's going on there. It looks like he just now passed him. We'll see if he can get out of the pits before he gets a lap down. As we see, there still is at least another lap. Yeah, here he comes. Looks like he really has not fixed his damage. Yeah, he has heavy damage still in the front of his car and on the side. I'm just wondering maybe if he hopping back on the tail end of the lead lap, then coming back into the pits to try to fix that damage, or he may just be deciding to, yeah, it looks like he's come back in just to try to stay on the lead lap. Probably just changed tires, got stuff out of the way of the tires, slid back out on the track, caught right back up to the lead lap, now coming back into the pits just to try to stay on the lead lap, because in Bristol it is very hard to get a lap back, and if you're in the pits too long, especially if green flag drops, you're probably getting multiple laps down, as this track just goes by so fast. So as we go back to the front of the front of the pack, we can see the 20 of Wayne King is going to have an opportunity to get his lap back. So it's definitely good to see. Though we will see if he can get a run, get his lap back, and then see what he can do if another caution comes out. So as they come back down to the lead, or to the green flag, he so far it looks like he has it right now, but he is not fully, and it looks like he's finally got it. So King has his lap back, and now he is just kind of praying for a caution, as the 77 is just in the way of everybody. Oop. We do not want to go that way. Yeah, the 77 is now back out, but he did slow down the 20 and King, as there's multiple battles going on in the back. So we'll see if King is going to be able to hold off for another caution. as there is 3 wide going on in the back with the 2. The 2 is in the wall slightly. It looks like he was able to save it, but he had definitely lost multiple positions. It looks like 17 was back in the pits trying to get himself fixed, though. I mean, at this point, he just needs to stay in there till he can get fixed. Because coming back in is not helping almost at all. If anything, he's going to cause a crash. So as we see, the 6, who was involved in that crash earlier, is now in 22nd from a top 10. As we see, Walker's in 17th, so definitely pretty good for the amount of damage he has on him. Yeah, 77 now coming back out. He still has massive damage on him. I am not sure why he's continues to go in and out of the pits. Because that's just, first off, going to cause issues later in the race. Yeah, King is pulling away, so it looks like he has a decent car right now. The issue is he was a lap down. Or he was a lap down. He's on the lead lap again, but he's just so far away. And the 5 just sticking his nose right under the 99. So definitely was able to save it, but as we scroll up to see, looks like Green right now is running 22nd, so it's definitely a lot better than what he was earlier. Though I think all those crashes are helping him out. As he takes that turn extremely wide, but it looks like he's one of the cars that the outside line on the turn is very good to him. So we see the 6, who was a top 10 car, was involved in that second crash, and just hasn't been able to get fully back up to speed. Similar to Walker, the Walker has gained a position. I think he's gained multiple positions. As there's a car in the wall, looks like they were able to keep it out, but there's a caution. We are definitely going to. Yeah, it looks like maybe the 99. 99 may have got turned. Let's go ahead and pause and see what happened, as there is a caution. So Wayne King right now he's probably going to be like, there is a. Usually it wasn't 99 that caused it. It was 23 that caused it. I think he caused one of the other ones too. So Gallagher. Yeah, so it looks like Gallagher and 13. As we take a look, it looks like just the 23 thought it looks like he thought he was clear, hit the 13, and the 13 gets loose, taps the 23, and spins him. As we see people coming on together, 52 I think is the one that got a lot of damage on him. I'm not sure what the orders of the 64. I thought the 52 had front end damage, maybe not. But the 68, and the 99 was the one we saw. The 98, the 12, no. Heavy damage on Bishop right there in the front end. That is not good. He was in 30th, but he still had a decent car today. So looks like that was really it. Looks like Wayne King right now, who's in 32nd. Did he lose a couple positions? Oh well. He did get his lap back though, I believe. Now is in the lead lap, and he's going to be able to go screw up and grab the tail end to see if he can grab a couple of positions with this caution. So yeah, I think that caution helped out King a ton, and definitely didn't help Bishop, as Bishop did get some heavy damage on his front. As we see Bishop going into the pits, he's 28th. He was 30th, so he did gain a couple positions, but I think that was just because some of the damaged cars he passed. Doesn't look like he has too much damage, but he did get some damage on that front end, which definitely is something we don't want to see. So as we watch Bishop entering into the pits, passing the 99. As he goes in, and he is out that front end damage must have hit something in his engine. That is not a good not good for him, as he was running okay this race. I mean, the story right now is Wayne King to see if he can catch back up. He is back on the lead lap, I believe. We can check that right now. Yep, he is the last car on the lead lap. Though he just now passed Bishop, so he's in 30th. So we can definitely see, because he got a great run out of that turn. Yeah, Hessert 77. Yeah, he is just going in and out of the pits. 6 laps down. I think right now he is just running for position to get something. Which, I mean, I guess is good. Yeah, so he keeps going in and out, but not fixing any damage. But yeah, it's a huge straight. King's passed a couple more guys that went into the pits. Alright, so let's go ahead and get back to the lead. As we go back, lead right now is Core with Default in second. Martinez in third. Yeah, he opened a ton of eyes last race when he was a lap down, but still able to keep up with the leading cars. And then we got Weber is in 4th place, so definitely good to see player cars in the top 5. Though, I mean, this is a short track, so the purse is a lot smaller. Srivastava, definitely good to see him in the almost top 10. From starting almost second to last, now getting at the doors of top 10. That's definitely good to see. So we scroll back a little bit. Walker's in 16th place. It looks like the lap cars are starting to come up to the front. Let's go ahead and get back to the front, as we can see the green flag. But it's good to see there are some good player cars in the top 10. I mean, Walker Sr., he was running very, very good until that crash took out the leaders. But it's still good to see him in the top 20, even with all that damage, as we see the green. And yeah, the 80 just got a terrible start, and the 48 is just driving away now. As we scroll back to see at least some of the cars, because the 48 just got a huge run on there. The 68 is almost tapping into the 33 of Weber, but Weber is able to get past him. The 68 now is, there's somebody blew an engine. Let's scroll back to see. Looks like he is, the 19 was able to get out of the way, held up a lot of people. We'll see if he dropped anything on the track to cause a caution, but so far no caution. But there is a huge pack of cars now because of the, I believe it was the 19 blowing an engine and causing everybody to stack up. So we go back to the leader. Leader did get caught up by the 46 of Default very quickly, but let's go ahead and take a look at some of the back end cars. It looks like King is slowly passing some people as the 19 is going into his pit stall. We see King Walker in the 3. He is still racing. He's in 14th right now, top 14 with all that damage. Is, that's good. He must have had a great car today for still being able to keep up speeds with that damage. As we take a look at the leaders right now, yeah, it looks like the 48 of Core is still the car to beat right now. With that lead crash really mixed up this this race, as it looked like it was King was going to win the race by a ton, until he caught up to the lapped cars, and then a lap car crashed in front of him and he had nowhere to go and ends up having to DQ out of this race. We have 48 right now looks like the car to beat right now. Definitely not as dominant as King was, as the 46 of Default is still right there with Martinez and Weber racing right behind the 80. So we'll definitely see if those guys are going to link up to try to make a run. As we look at the 66, that's missing the hood. And we looking at Wayne King, which right now is in 25th position. So he's gained about 2 positions since the green flag. Actually 3 positions since the green flag. At 68 or the 64, which is causing issues early in the track. Ooh, and the 52 kind of gets caught into the wall, gets on 2 wheels. But it looks like we are on the last lap. I didn't even notice. So we are on last lap, yep, at 48. I mean, it looks like he is going to lead or going to win, as we see Weber and Martinez both battling it out for 5th place, 1, 2, 3, 4th and 5th place, as it looks like Weber was able to beat out Martinez. Martinez getting caught on the outside, so he's going to take another lap. As we follow along, looks like everybody else is finished. Wow, that was a very eventful race, as we see the 48 of Core winning the race. A little margin, 0.2 seconds, which even in Bristol is pretty close, which is about what, maybe a car length. Weber and Martinez 3rd and 4th. Yeah, it looks like the 80 was a lap car, so 3rd and 4th. So Weber ended up sneaking 1 more position in that final lap, and was able to get past Martinez. As we scroll down now to see, it looks like Pitch, another player car, got 14th. He had a top 10 car, but ended up getting into that second crash, which caused a lot of front end damage. Elon Green, who started pretty far in the back, ends up with a top 20 position in 16th place, which is definitely good. Shrivastava in the 7th car. He started, I think, 2nd from last and ended up getting a top 20, so definitely good. Walker had actually a pretty disappointing race. He qualified 3rd place, but what got into that crash that took out 1st and 2nd. And just, I mean, he was still able to keep up the speed. He was missing his hood, his bumper. His rear end was basically gone, but he was still able to get a top 20 position. So that just shows the type of car he had today. He had a very fast car who probably could have, which probably would have been a great race between him and King had they both been able to stay clean this race. As we go back to Wayne King, who finished 25th. Definitely not a great race for him, but he was able to pick up a couple of positions towards the end of the race, which it just doesn't look like he's a very good short track driver. As we scroll down, it looks like Bishop had issues hitting somebody. I think there was a crash coming up and just slamming hard into them. So he ended up pulling out of the race. Jay King, which dominated, I think, the first 50 laps of this race, ended up crashing with some lapped cars, so definitely not a good thing for him to do. Hannah, who qualified very well and got put into the wall early in the race and ends up flipping over a couple of times, but not really taking out really anybody else. But yeah, he had a lot of promise this race, but ends up crashing out, so definitely not what he wanted to see. So but yeah, overall it was a definitely good race. It looked like it may have started out as a snoozer with Jay King basically dominating the first half of this race, but as soon as he caught up to those lap cars, crashed out, it ended up basically being anybody's game with the 48 of Core passing and ends up winning. So definitely a good race. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to be posting results shortly, as well as updated money, hopefully today or tomorrow, depending on when I get some time. But yeah, definitely shoot me over a message if you want to get in on the Owners League, as well as if you want to change anything on your car. All right, thank you so much.